So I want to talk about pointing. Pointing is very important. Pointing helps a child develop language, recognize language. It also develops their receptive skills in what things are. Although they're not expressively saying them, they understand what they are. So whenever after a program you want to reward a child, so immediately once they do a program, like if they're doing a matching program, for example, you want to praise them, great job matching, and immediately ask, what do you want? Play-Doh, Play-Doh. Model the pointing. We want to get to the point that the child, so if the child is not pointing, you want to hands over hand to get them to point. If they're pulling back, continue to model pointing. Eventually, we do have to have the child point, individually point to whatever it is. If anything you're giving the child, if it's water, if you're giving them water, what do you want? Anything to eat, what do you want? Because you want them to be able to eventually say what they want or point to whatever they want. So if they're able, it also reduces the frustration level in children, because when they want something, they're able to point. So it's a way of them communicating with you. So if you're giving them water, what do you want? You want water, water. Immediately give to the child. Again, try to get them to prompt. In the beginning, fine, you can model, but you want to get them to point to whatever it is. So pointing is a very important skills for young children. You want to get them to also, eventually the idea is that they're pointing to things in the house when they want something. It's a way of them communicating. And you want to give them a way to communicate with you, and pointing is a good way to do that. When they're outside, you want to get to a point where they're pointing to a house, they're pointing to a tree, to a car. So pointing is very important. So don't just give the child the object. I know it's it's a kind of shift in the way we do things, but don't just give it, oh, you want this. No, let's try to get them to understand what it is that you're giving them. So you always want to model the pointing. Okay, that's all for pointing.